This is pretty for you on edutainment for us. So today we are into the reaction on MRIMI. Guys, I hope you saw the drunkard again apologizing, right? So this is the rise and the fall of MRIMI, right? Ballast, betrayal, broken dreams, you know. This man, of course, when he did sell his land to Dimwango, many people made a lot of noise. And by that time it didn't make sense. But guys, if you've been watching him, you know that he's coming down, falling slowly by slowly, right? Yeah, so I don't know, if we had some somber music we would play it, but then we don't have it now. So just imagine about the the sad moment in his life, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, grab your tea, water, and whatever is in your cup, because today we take a deep dive into the real life of village drama Nyabohanza that spiraled from opportunity to public disgrace. Hey, guys, I was watching this and I was like, this is not fiction, right? This is MRIMI's saga. The young man who sold land, you know, selling your future, literally, then turned into against the very hands that tried to uplift him. That is according to the Empress. The Empress said that by buying his land, he was going to uplift MRIMI. And of course, the uplifting was supposed to be in the motorbike business that he bought, and then he would acquire a foreman job at this place. But I think because of his drunkenness, D. Mwango thought otherwise and hired this guy known as Boy, right? You've always seen at the side now. So guys, if you come on board, join us in this story. And even if you'll watch later, thanks to you, because you really mean a world to me. So let's go on roll call. Dimango's construction site is going on, and let's see just what is happening here. Let me see. Let me not delay you here. Let's get to the side, right? Here it is. Here it is, taking shape.
Mpaka mwisho. Chana naye. Hi guys, we are here with Legrand. What's going on, Legrand?
I hope it's clear here.
You see now, that is the disadvantage. It takes a lot of cement. I mean hardcore stones. The other ones, these ones here, you don't have that time. But the problem is they're also expensive to get them here. So it's all batters out. You see, you don't use a lot of cement. You see, but these ones, yeah. All right, guys, that is what is going on here.
So guys, if you know, you know. So here, of course, we are the construction site, Nyabohanze. And the Empress is doing it, right? She's doing it. As far as she's borrowing, she's asking people, she's appraising others more than others. She's doing it, right? Hey, what do you have to say? All right, so let's go back to MRIMI. MRIMI, remember, is the drunkard who sold land to Dimwango. And I remember telling you that we may not blame Dimwango as much. Yeah, we understand that we are not supposed to take advantage of people who are drunk, but then sometimes it happens, you know, and it happened in this situation as Dimwango really wanted to construct very fast and justify the fact that she needs a home, or rather just prove a point that she has traveled the world and now she needs to settle and retire in her 20s. So right, guys, welcome on board. I can see people coming and going. Don't go anywhere because we are not going to take a lot of your time. Yeah, I need to make my hair anyway, but bear with me for now. I'll be doing it over the weekend because things are not, you know, easy. A lot of things to cover, and sometimes you don't get time to do this. So guys, he had it all lined up. MRIMI is a village young person, a husband, a father. He was handed a golden ticket through inheritance, right? He got a piece of land, but then he decided to sell the land to the YouTuber, the famous Mama Africa Dimwango, some people call her Embrace and all that, right? To support her dreams. Yeah, she always says she has great dreams and she manifests them, right? In return, she was supposed to have a promised foreman job and then have a new life. He bought a motorbike that he was supposed to use in the village. and become his own driver. I remember watching that video when Dimwang was telling him that now you have become a rich man. And he was there smiling and saying, yeah, you've changed my life. And guess what? What did he do next? Done, 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 done. Instead of stepping up, Murimi stepped out. He bought a boda boda, of course a motorcycle, and stepped into the bottle. You know what it means by stepping into the bottle? Yeah. So rumor says that he must have drunk more fuel than his bike bike consumed. You know what I mean? Now let's get to this man and just let us understand him. This is Murimi for you. Let's get here and see. He is here. He is here. Of course, on Saturday, that's when Dimwango got somebody having tried to steal ballast at his end. I don't know how she came about to understand that it was Murimi, the same man who sold him at, And there is one thing I asked when Murimi sold the land to Dimwango, and then he was being promised a foreman job and he was there jumping. I want to get a video to just prove a point here. He was there celebrating and saying, no one should say that my land has been grabbed. I sold it myself, And there he was promising to be the best foreman. I don't know what happened because since the construction started, I've not seen him being a foreman in any way, I've not seen him doing that. Let me just get you that video. It's somewhere here. It's somewhere here. I don't know what happened. He has never got that job that he was promised. I've never seen him at the construction site whatsoever. It's not that long. It's a video that was done recently, It's not a video that was done long ago. It was some few weeks, if I may say, some few weeks ago. If I don't get it, forgive me, but I'll be narrating because, of course, I did use those videos somewhere. And of course, for those who normally follow Dimwango and Ian Marwa, you understand the story behind this. And a lot of people made a lot of noise when Murimi was selling his land. Land is something golden. And if you start selling, you may sell the entire of it. All of us know that, right? I'm not objecting the selling of land because, of course, there are those who don't have it, they have to buy from others. But then, if a sober man sells, it is better. A drunkard, for that case, it's different. So let's see this. It's here. Must be here. Not this one, actually. Not this one. Anyway, let me spare you the trauma of going to check for that video. But I remember Murimi was really celebrating and saying he's going to be a foreman, his life will be better, and he was promised that job by Dimwango. But if anyone has ever seen him at the site, tell me, because I'm not sure I've seen him at Dimwango's site at any chance. And possibly the only person I see there is the wife selling githeri during lunchtime. And of course, Dimwango and the brothers have been proving that people are making a livelihood, which is true because maybe they don't have where to sell. We've even seen Patsy complaining that she doesn't have where to sell her products, right? So it's like most people here rely on construction sites for them to be able to make a living. So let's just check through. There was something before she said goodbye to go to Mombasa. We saw that. There was something here. Is it this one when Murimi is? Yeah, so as I'm telling you, when Murimi sold this land to Dimwango and Dimwango promised that she's going to start construction, guys, you saw very well that Murimi was jumping up and down and saying, I'm going to be a foreman. And I was like, are you sure? Because you are a drunkard, It's not easy. For those who know what it means, drunkardness sometimes become an illness. And when it's an illness, it's not easy. It's not easy for someone to just think that they can walk out of that and then do what they have to do. It's a challenge that really needs a lot of people to come by to become handy so that you can actually maybe change and become somebody else. So when before she flew to a non-destination, this was the thing here. When they were pouring materials 4 weeks ago, that is when we saw MRIMI really celebrating and saying that he's going to actually help in construction. But then I was really doubting because MRIMI, I think it is this video, when the first material arrived. Let me just check. Yeah, here. He's a very hard-working man. I see. Yeah, in this video. It's here. Before Dimwango went to the coast alone, she came pouring material, and in the process of pouring material, that's when we saw the MRIMI jumping around and saying, okay, it's here. Day one on my construction site, of course, this is the place. Yeah, here. Yeah, let's look at this. This guy is here. So many messages coming in. Unaona hapo penye huko ndio basi. Unapeleka huko mbele. Sasa hapa ningesema lazima kipa zikuwe mbili. Moja kileta shida inavuruga na nika sasa tena. Masabi. Kuzeno kutumia maembe. Yeah, so generally in that video, that's when we saw that MRIMI was so happy he was going to be the foreman. And I was like, are you sure? Because MRIMI is a drunkard and I don't think he's a sober man to be a foreman. And MRIMI was so happy saying that, yeah, my neighbors now, Dimwango. And I thought to myself, in that video, of course, I said that people who are desperate, like drunkards who cannot manage their money, once it's over, they'll begin stealing from you. You remember me saying that? I hope you saw. And this is where there is a critical view, and people might say that maybe you are a prophet of doom. But I just said that because I know that's what happens, you know? That's what happens. Now let's look at this video now. See MRIMI himself coming here to show what he had done. Let's look at this, for example. And the unfortunate thing is that when you do a bad thing and you are desperate, you have to be paraded, to be paraded in front of everybody. Now, my question was just that, why was it to be on camera? And then, you know, like, even though he's not a rich man, but he's sold land to Dimwango, so in one way or the other, we can say he's the landlord, though he may not be having the pocket thing. But then, with just that little respect to enhance the fact of covering somebody's humiliation, I did not see that here. So let's see how MRIMI comes out here. And Marwa and Dagi are sitting there taking the video of him testifying. I don't know what you think about this. Anybody who's on board can share. What do you think about this?
They can do something like that in the village and we forgive them. But if they do somewhere else in other countries, it will be a serious case. Yeah. And we don't want that. But one thing I love about MRIMI is he never lies. You see, now he has taken...
Hey, guys, somebody steals for you, and if they come out and says it, then you say you love something about them because they never lie. But in the first place, if Murimi was not found in stealing, would he have come out and shared out what he did? Because remember, he had done it knowing that they are not there. He did not pick when somebody's there, you know, which means he calculated himself to steal because he knew they were not there. But now Mara here is actually saying that he likes about him because he doesn't lie. Does it mean when somebody does a wrong thing to you and they don't lie, then that is right? And we will like them? Is this liking just the usage of words, the way in Africa we normally say I'm fine, even when you are not fine, you know? Let's check on this again.
Accountability of his own action. Yeah. That is the only, other people will, even if they are, it is true. Yeah. So even me, one time, me and my sister, we are talking that maybe one day we will come and do some contribution for him. Yeah. And he can have a decent house because his house, guys.
I hope that, Maro, you're not just saying for camera purposes, because many people in Kenya make promises. And these promises, as long as they are not written somewhere, it becomes history. You know, you forget about it. We have so many people who stand even in funerals. They say, I'm going to pay fees for a certain kid. And then they just forget about it. So in this video, of course, we see very well Marwa coming out and saying, me and my sister will come up and build him a decent house. I wish you would have done that long ago. And I think the best thing to do for MRIMI is to empower him so that he knows how to fish. The problem, this man does not know how to fish. He does not even know how to manage his money because he sold land just a month ago. I don't know how much it was because it was land worth 50 by 100. That is 2 plots. And hardly after a month, he does not have anything. He's going about stealing. Sometimes I saw him borrowing, begging from David Jr. the other week, you know. And he promised to give the boda boda to his brother Matiko, so that Matiko uses it in motorcycling. And I was like, are you serious? Because even Matiko himself cannot manage himself. He has been a drunkard who went to an extent of being affected mentally. And he had to be taken to a rehab, you know. And he has not taken even a month before it. Now let's just listen more to this one and get to understand one or two things.
Maybe Sister D, you can take them there. Yeah. And they see Murimi's house. Yeah. Yeah, but guys, as I said, Maro, you know, he's my elder brother and I listen to him a lot. So, what he tells me, everybody deserves a second chance in this life. Everybody. Nobody's perfect at the end of the day. Perfect. But me, I'm that one person. You do something to me and I'm like, you know what, me, I'm done. Let me mind my business, you mind yours. Yeah. But now, my brother tells me, D, you have
Hey, so D is giving us her other part or personality. For her, once you mess with her, it's done and dusted. Done and dusted. But Marwa came handy and advised her because he's the main advisor. Marwa is the main advisor, the main role model, and the only source of inspiration for Dimwango. Remember when Dimwango was in shit, you know, like her life was messy, she was depressed. She says that the only person that came handy was Marwa. And of course, he can only listen to Marwa. She can only listen to Marwa. But you are subscribers, anybody on the streets, she doesn't owe you anything. She doesn't have to give you a listening ear. Anyway, it's a good choice because that is what she believes. I hope that Marwa won't mess her in some of the advices because some advices may come from other people away from family. But for her, she's testifying in this video that she only believes in what the brother tells her. And the brother, of course, has advised her that she should give MRIMI the second chance. And I don't know whether it's true that everybody deserved a second chance. That is a proverb that we normally hear. But do you believe that unless MRIMI is reformed, stops drinking, you know, does he really deserve a second chance? Do you think that he's going to really do what he's saying? Now, let's get back to the other video because I told you, MRIMI had to go through a humiliation process. Now, this is the worst thing of being a poor person and doing the wrong because sometimes if you are better, I don't say that it's right to do wrong and not ask for forgiveness, but then in one way or the other, if you are a poor man, then you don't have your way. Now, he was paraded. This video is by Dimwango. Now let's get to a video by the brother David Jr. And of course David Jr. was there. Now here he has been made to say what he did before the mercenaries at the construction site, and know that he belongs to this village. Anyway, drunkards don't have faith. Sometimes they don't even care what they say, how they say it, and who they say it to. And tomorrow becomes a different day and they leave it. Now let's get to David Jr.'s video and see what happened, because I think they picked different parts and gave to different videos. That's what they always do. You know, when you become a brand, I think you don't have a hard time like us who are struggling on the streets. You just create something, share amongst yourself, mix things here and there, and you survive. Now let's look at this one.
Yeah, from Sister D Mwango. Yeah, Sister D Mwango.
On a Saturday.
Yeah, on a Saturday. And me, I thought.
She has apologized.
Yeah, I have apologized. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that, people.
Sure.
Okay. And I won't repeat it again. Yeah, guys. D Mwango, I won't repeat it.
I've forgiven you, Mudin.
Now guys, what advice would you give to Dimango? Do you think that this man, being a drunkard, who is selling his land, of course he has sold the bigger portion possibly, and you can actually see his house in a very distasteful state, you know, a very distasteful state. He's holding a baby without socks on such a cold day. You know, he looks horrible. The wife is a very young one for that case. If I look at her, she looks like someone who should be in school, back in school. And they are only now struggling to sell, again, githeri. We call it githeri, a mixture of beans and beans and maize at the construction site, guys. So he's selling that to make a livelihood through the wife, which is a very low life, right? Very low. How sure are you that you would even sell the entire thing? And even if you're selling, how much do you make, you know? And if he can go to steal ballast, what about the crops? I'm worried about the crops at the construction site also. We've seen a lot of maize there. Is he sure that he has not even, dipped his hand in that, you know? Now, let's listen as he promises that he will never do this. Is he being genuine? I don't take his word, because how is he going to ensure that he will not do it? That's my question. This is a drunkard who is desperate. His life is very low. You can see them from the home itself. So how is he sure that he will not do this again? You know? Let's check for more receipts here.
All-hearted.
Brother, I won't repeat it again.
Yeah. So this is a young family navigating through life, and they're watch them as well.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, I think MRIMI is just accepting to apologize, or rather saying the truth in quote, because he understands that David Jr. had already gotten about $100 that was contributed by his fan, you know, a fan that was giving that so that it raises the life of MRIMI. Hey guys, you people out there, some people feel are very philanthropic, but I wonder why then this specific family we are seeing within the video, for example, they can't manage their matters, you know, and for example, they seem to be people who are going to rely on others for anything like raising their life, you know, because looking at the entire Nyabohanse, you know, in the entire video, we realize that people have woken up, but there are those who are sleeping, right? That's why they are drinking, they are messing around, they are making a lot of noise, they are begging, while others are busy making their life, you know, through YouTube and other ways that we are seeing. We've seen a lot of changes all over the place. Nasto, for example, looking at David Jr., looking at Imarwa, looking at Dimwango, and the rest of them. You can see even Diana and the rest within the village. Now, I wonder why this guy has not joined the team of the Gintus and the rest of them. We've seen even Mogesi, a very young one, who just finished Form 4 2 years ago, but he's making a stay. Now, why should he be here to beg and do the stealing, for example, standing on camera in other people's platforms to expect assistance, you know? Money falling from heaven, right? That's what we can see here. Now let's get back to our script and see what we're gonna talk about here. And guys, drop your comments in the comment section, subscribe and like the video. Yeah, so the foreman job, where did it go? Let me just sip this change first. Who is counting? Yeah, but the real disaster came when they discovered that ballast was disappearing, sand missing, cement gone. And the suspect, the very man who sold her land, right? Yeah, so Dimwango comes frowning, pointing at the side overlay text, you know, and the $100 is trust broken, held. When Donna Daudi held back the $100 contribution from Murimi's betrayal, the tension boiled over. Justice had to be public and painful, you know. The drunkard had to be paraded before everybody. And so he has to give a public apology. Yeah, we can see the YouTube footage showing us that, right? Yeah, so he's forced to apologize on not one or two, but 3 platforms. Can you imagine that? David Jr.'s platform, Dimwango's platform, and right in front of neighbors. So you can imagine if this was a sober man, what could happen to him? Maybe for a drunkard, it doesn't matter. Murimi had to swallow this pill. More pride that he had swallowed liquor, right? So the liquor had done it. And all in all, what hurts most? A young wife trying to make ends meet. You can see her cooking githeri daily to sell at the very side the husband sold. A small boy growing up watching just the cracks of the father's dreams, yeah? So you see, this isn't just gossip, it's a lesson about trust, about accountability, about managing opportunity before opportunity manages you. So let's go back to the video again and look at this and see how this humiliation. That's a remark. So here it is. So let's listen to it.
She's your fan. Ni fan wa Daudi.
My fan reached me out. She sent me good money for him, but since he had what he did, she decided to
cancel the plan,
everything. But mom, I know you're gonna be watching this. Please don't give up on them. And the good thing, he's very remorseful.
You know somebody who says sorry is a good person.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure, guys? So does it mean in this world people just have to say sorry and they are better than those who don't say? Or is it the fact of being genuine in what they say that matter? You know, sometimes it's not about what people will say, but how will they say it and do they mean what they say, you know? There can be somebody smiling at you and plastically saying that you look good, but internally what they mean is very different, right? That's what you have to know about life. Somebody can be there telling you, congratulations, but then on the other end, what they mean is quite the opposite. So I'm looking at Murimi and I'm like, oh, Dimwango, are you sure this guy is very apologetic? And by the time you are doing construction before you mount those CCTVs, you are sure that he will never, ever steal from this side? Maybe we should understand why did he have to do it, you know? If we understand why he had to do it, then we can actually get to add 1 + 1 to get the 2. Now let's hear again more from this.
Yeah, because we human beings, we deserve a second chance for sure.
Yeah.
So just keep supporting them. Don't give up on them, guys.
Yeah, it's a young family.
Yeah, thank you.
She's the wife. She's cooking githeri to bring to the construction site. And guys...
And of course the Empress has to add that. And make us understand that, of course, even the wife is making ends meet by coming to sell at the construction site, you know? Because there were some stops put on some people like Percy. Percy could not appear here and she went begging, she went apologizing. And I don't know why that was not taken as a sincere apology, because I'm looking at Murimi, who is just apologizing immediately because they found out. And on the other hand, Percy, who has taken some time to reflect through what she did, and then she comes out and apologizes. Only my question was, why didn't she share those people who are pushing her to be an enemy of the neighbors? Now let's call to action, you know. As I told you, this is not just gossip. It's a lesson about trust, about accountability, about managing opportunity before opportunity manages you. You know, when opportunity manages you, you become a prisoner, you become a slave. You will be following orders just because you want to be a slave to some people, you know. You won't do your own things, you know. To Murimis out there, we have so many Murimis, of course. with the same character and same habit. When life gives you a contract, don't tear it with your own hands, you know. When the world gives you a foreman's helmet, don't trade it for a bottle. So many people trading a bottle for opportunities. And to the Daudis and Ds of the world, may you never stop building, you know, even when the very foundation betrays you. You understand the tingle? Yeah. So of course, let's get back to here again. And here, the final apology, and he finally, I think he's being a pretender in one way or another. I was looking at the gestures and I was like, okay. So here he is twisting his neck, holding the baby, talking, telling people this and that. Then finally, what does he do? He moves and again gives knock. You know, that the Rastaman greeting. Let's get to it here.
Wholeheartedly have forgiven Murimi. End of the story.
And the good thing, even the wife,
End
she's
of the
very
story. End of the story. Did you hear that? The Empress told you end of the story. And of course, it won't be the end of the story, because I'm assuring you, next time it will be something more. Unless this man knows how to manage his life, it will be repeated, or even something worse. That was just a tip of the iceberg. I can assure you of that. Let's count hours, days, and weeks, you know, or months, whatever.
working.
Yeah.
She's using the small opportunity to make money from it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Murimi.
People who go for small dreams, small opportunities, when you begin with small opportunities, I don't know how big you can go. You know, in life, sometimes you don't have to go for small opportunities. Small opportunities are for small people. Anyway, Murimi is a small person because he is into the bottle, taking more fuel than his bicycle can take, you know. So let's look at this small opportunity and what it gives.
And that's all, guys.
Yeah, everything is okay.
Yeah, thank you a lot.
Look at that.
Support Murimi.
Look at that. Look at that. Now the final aspect of giving the knuckles, and it like Dimango goes on and like, yeah, now support Murimi. All right. Give him a platform whereby he can transform his life fully and understand. In fact, the first process is rehabilitating him from drinking so that he focuses on another way of life, you know. So Dimango is there again now, promising that people should help. But remember, Murimi does not have his platform because he's not a YouTuber anyway. Maybe he's not interested, you know. Every man for himself, God for us all. Everybody goes for what they want. Now, we see here, as they finally do that, of course, which is a good sign, you know. You know, the beef is no longer there. Let's see that.
Where you can.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
even
it.
if we see that toilet has reached,
Yeah, she's building.
it will be a good thing.
Exactly. We'll keep supporting you, Murimi.
Okay, thank you.
Big surprises are coming for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Rita will be coming
Just
here.
stay alert.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you a lot. Thank you a lot. I'll be happy. I'll be glad. Please, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's life.
I find this man very dramatic. Most times he really like a kid, you know. The way babies or young kids apologize and make you feel like, yeah, they are really genuine, but I don't know whether it's genuine. What exactly motivated him to go to the construction site and steal, you know? Is it because he no longer now has any other source of, survival? This is a village, for heaven's sake. And so many people are making it in different ways. I wonder why he cannot now borrow the skills, because I can see people like Uncle Mo, you look at so many other people who are making it through. They have just started channels and they are doing behind maybe Marwa, behind Dimwango, behind David Jr. I wonder why he can't do that. Is he too shaky for the camera? That's my question, you know? And why the parading? Was the parading to ensure that they really have a point of reference? Devi has, Marwa has, and Dimwango has. Yeah, so guys, hope we've really had to inform you of something and maybe render in the way that is best for us. Until next time, remember, choices make men, right? But character defines them. Build wisely, walk soberly. This has been the Edutainment for Us TV. Real people, real lessons. So type your comment in the comment sections and let's meet again in another world, whether it's a Life Saga TV for you or edutainment for us, we are here for you. And of course, every time, every minute. Yesterday I didn't get time to do enough videos, and today I've decided I'll do as many as possible. Any moment I get, I'll be doing it. So once I do analysis, of course I go to it. If you're interested into politics, come to Live Saga TV. We'll be having another session by maybe around 2, so that we proceed into the analysis of why Moses Kuria, for example, resigned and what it means for Kenya, plus the exit of Gachagua to the USA. What exactly is he into? Bye-bye for now.